Welcome to all the participants. You can choose anywhere you want to sit. Masih kurang satu orang ya? Before we start our competition today, I'd like to ask you to collect all your belongings to the committee. You can put it with Mr. Fadila. The only remaining things are paper and pen. No other things on your table. Yes. Only paper and pen. No notebooks, except for blank paper and a pen. No notes, only blank paper. Blank paper. Okay. Right now we are waiting for the live stream to start our competition today. So please remain seated in your seat. And all the adjudicators are present with us in the transit room now, and I will invite them when we will start the event today. Elementor, are you ready? Okay. Welcome to all our adjudicators. You can take seat in front of the main room. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning everyone. Welcome to the KPMI, Kompetisi Pedagog Pemuda Indonesia, second batch 2024 in Universitas Negeri Gorontalo. We are now in Aula BAKP, Universitas Negeri Gorontalo, also streaming live through YouTube of Pedagogika TV. I am Husnul Hatima, your master of ceremony for today's competition. First of all, I'd like to offer my praise and gratitude to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, the Almighty God who has made it possible for us to be here today with good spirit. I would like to express gratitude and honors to our collaborators and partners for conducting this competition today. Forum Ilmu Pendidikan, Jurusan Ilmu Pendidikan FIJIP Indonesia, all the members of LPTK in Indonesia, Universitas Negeri Gorontalo as the host of KPMI, Acting Governor of Gorontalo, Dr. Insinyur Muhammad Rudi Salahuddin MEM, Rector of Universitas Negeri Gorontalo, Profesor Dr. Insinyur Edward Wolok, STMT IPM, Dean of Faculty of Education Universitas Negeri Gorontalo, Profesor Dr. Arwil Dayanto, SPD MPD, Vice Dean for Academic Affairs of Faculty of Education Universitas Negeri Gorontalo, Dr. Pupung Puspa Ardini, SPD MPD, Vice Dean for Finance and Administration, Dr. Sukma Nurilawati Botutihe, SPSI MPSI Psikolog, Vice Dean for Student Affairs of Faculty of Education Universitas Negeri Gorontalo, Dr. Chandra Chuga, SPD MPD. All the educators present with us today, all the committees that have prepared today's competition to be conducted well, all the participants present here right now with us, and all the spectators watching live in Aula BAKP Universitas Negeri Gorontalo and through Pedagogika TV in YouTube. First of all, I'd like to introduce our adjudicators for today's competition. As the captain adjudicator, we have Zulistiawati SS MED PhD. Please stand up. You can stand up. Okay. Miss Zulistiawati currently acts as an assistant professor in Education Management Department, Faculty of Education, Universitas Negeri Gorontalo. Her research interests are in the areas of leadership, educational management, and organizational design. And the next one, we have guest adjudicator, Mr. Muhammad Syahrun Ibrahim, SPD MED PhD. He is currently an associate professor in English language education, also the head of Bahasa Universitas Negeri Gorontalo. His research interests are in the areas of English language teaching, applied linguistics, educational leadership and management, especially for homeschool partnership and teachers-students relationship. And the last one, we have Yunia Prastisia Lagona SPD as the guest adjudicator. She has many experience related to English debate competition nationally, not only as participants, but also as adjudicators. She is currently a staff member of Bahasa in Universitas Negeri Gorontalo. Next one, I will introduce our participants for today's grand final of English debate competition of KPMI 2024. From Universitas Negeri Surabaya, we have Helen Elshadai Manurung, Olivia Jihan Ravinia. Thank you. The next one, from Universitas Negeri Yogyakarta, we have Molly Avril Santana, Devin Johanda. Next one, we have from Universitas Negeri Gorontalo, Randy Gobel, and Artika Rahmawati Ilang. Our last teams is from Universitas Negeri Padang, Pradika Alim Zulemil, and Gabriela Berlian. Okay, thank you. So that's all our participants for today's grand final. Without further ado, we will start the grand final for the English debate competition of KPMI 2024. But before that, we will sing Indonesia Raya together. So all the attendees are requested to stand. Okay, thank you for Miss Viola for leading our singing together. Everyone, please be seated. Okay. Going on next, I would like to invite our person in charge to deliver her opening remarks before we start today's competition. Please welcome Miss Viola Indah Pratama.
Thank you, Ms. Husnul. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let us express our gratitude and praise to God for granting us good health, allowing us to come together for this debate competition. My name is Viola Indah Putri Pratama, and I am the PIC of the English Debate Competition for KPMI Batch 2. The English Debate Competition is the first debate event held during the KPMI program. 6 teams from 5 universities are participating in this event. From Gorontalo State University, Surabaya State University, Malang State University, Yogyakarta State University, and Padang State University. From these 6 universities, 4 have successfully advanced to today's grand final, representing Padang, hello, Thank you for coming. And then Yogyakarta State University, hello, thank you for coming. And then Surabaya State University, thank you for coming. And the last, Gorontalo State University, thank you for coming. Let's give a round of applause for these 4 teams. Before I conclude, I would like to inform the teams that we will be announcing the best team and the best speaker of the day. However, the certificate will be awarded during the closing ceremony of KPMI tomorrow. Okay? As the PIC, I apologize for any shortcoming during the organization of this debate competition. I extend my gratitude to experts who have taken the time to support the English debate competition as adjudicator. And last, I would like to warmly welcome all participants. Your time here Gorontalo be filled with unforgettable memories and achievement. Good luck with the competition. Let us begin this debate event by reciting Basmalah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you for all. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Ms. Viola Indah Pratama, for giving the opening remarks. By that, we hereby open our grand final of KPMI 2024 for English debate competition. Please give your big applause. During the debate competition, I will hand over the event to our moderator today. Please welcome Ms. Mayang Kovitalan to the stage.
Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's debate on KPMI. I am Mayang Martadiana Kovitalan, and I will be your moderator. I respectfully acknowledge the judges, educator of the English debate who are present, as well as the extraordinary teams with their enthusiasm. And also, today we have 4 teams participating from UNESA, UNY, UNG, and UNP. Today we have 4 teams participating and will be started. The first is opening government, and the second opening opposition, and the third is closing government, and the last is closing opposition. And the next is, will be divide the teams who will be opening government and who will be opening opposition, closing government and closing opposition. And I will call for one person from the teams will come to in front and take the paper and who will be the position. Okay, one person from them teams. Okay, before that, I will, wait. The teams from the person will read the position of the teams.
Thank you for your questions. So from the UNESA time will be closing opposition.
For UNP, we're gonna be opening opposition.
UNG is closing government.
And UNY is opening government.
Okay, thank you very much for the teams. Okay, for all the teams can move to the side. Follow the paper that we have put in the table. Okay, on the right side we have opening government and closing government, and on the left side we have closing opposition and closing opening closing. And now I would like to give to our. Sorry, wait a bit. Team position, UNESA will be closing opposition, UNG will be closing government, and also UNP will opening opposition, and the last opening government will be on UNY. Okay, I will ask from the teams who will be prime minister and who will be deputy prime minister. Okay, thank you. Sorry, can you repeat again? And for closing government, and from closing opposition team, and the last is opening opposition. Okay, thank you very much for the teams. Okay, now we will see the motion for today debate, English debate. So prepare. Before waiting for the motion, I will say you we have 15 minutes to. Okay. Okay, I will read again. Opening government from UNY Prime Minister will be Molly, and Deputy Prime Minister will be Darin. Opening opposition from UNP, the leader of the opposition will Pradika, and Deputy leader of the opposition will be Gabriel. Closing government from UNG, the member of the will be Randy, and government whip will be Artika, and the last is closing opposition from UNESA. Member of the opposition will be Helen, and opposition whip will be Olivia. Okay, I will ask more from all the teams. Are you ready for the mosi? Okay, this is the info slide. Okay, everyone, have you finished? Okay, everyone, have you finished? Okay, everyone, it's finished. Okay, now we would like to. This is the motion, so everyone can read. Okay. The motion is Indonesia University. This house believes that Indonesia universities should prioritize accreditation from ASEAN organization over Western ones. Okay, everyone, for all the teams, for discuss according to your teams, it will be 15 minutes. It will be started from okay, everyone. The time 15 minutes start from now. Okay, thank you. So everyone, time is finished. Now I would like to read again from opening government. The first Prime Minister will be Molly and Deputy Prime Minister will be Darren. But before that, I will tell you the rules for the times, the debate, English debate. So we have 7 minutes, 20 seconds. And also, start from 0 to 1, we will give 1 ring. And 1 to 5, we will give 2 rings. And 7 minutes, we will give 3 rings. And the last finish, we will give more rings. Okay, now we will start the debate. Start from opening government from UNY. It will be Prime Minister Miss Molly. I would like give the time and an opportunity on the stage.
Hello. Okay. For any POI, please just raise your hand and I will let you speak. And I will start my speech in 3, 2. Indonesia becomes Asian alien since we share similar values as other Asian countries as former colonized countries. This means Asians has conduct certain qualifications and standard based on our shared values. And before I jump into my argument, I will give some characterizations based on our motions. The first characterization will be about Indonesian universities. Indonesian universities dreams to become world-class university, and we do try so hard to meet Western standard of accreditations, but I don't see much urgency since A, we could still participate in World Academic Forum with our own or our Asian standards. We could still participate such as, for example, like UGM enter award, Moon, MUN, or any other occasions in world class. So we are still able to connect with the world class university. We could still share our values and we could still connect with other universities, especially in Western. And B, Indonesian universities are still able to connect and host even overseas universities. We could still host the MUN in our country, in our universities. We could still host academic forum in our universities. So there's not so much urgencies to prioritize the Western standard. And at least C, Asian universities such as NUS in Singapore is indeed still available for any teamwork or connections with Indonesia since it's within ASEAN. So it will be easier for Indonesian universities to have connection with them and host them or do such academic forum and any other things. But second characterization is about Western accreditations, where their standard and qualifications will be based on their own values, their environment, and their society, which means it will be not so similar to us since the environment is really different, the values of the society is really different, and how they work in society is also really different. So those criteria, their qualifications, and their standard might not suitable for Indonesian universities since Western has been developing way before us, way much before us. And if we forced to meet their standards, there will be much obstacle for us in the future days. And I will extend this in my argument. But tertiary education is obligate to prepare their students to be academically proficient and or to be fully prepared as an independent adult to support their own lives. Since most of the university students live in the UNIF country, for example, when we study in Yogyakarta State University, means that we're still living in Indonesia and we will building our career also in Indonesia. So it means that we as the students need to understand the way of the country, and we need to understand the working culture, for example, and the society at the very least. So if we are not able to understand how society works, it will be so hard for us to be the part of the society and to contribute in the society, and it will be an obstacle for us to build our career in the other way. So by using Asian accreditations, it will give Indonesian universities change to prepare their students for this kind of life, to be more capable to contribute in the society, to understand the working culture, since the accreditations, the qualification, and the standards are based on our culture. And we could still negotiate for the standard, we could still communicate the programs and so on with the Asian organizations. So we this with this with prioritizing Asian accreditations means that we will have much change to enhance our education qualification and systems. And then moving on to my argument, we believe that Indonesian universities should prioritize Asian accreditations because one, it is more suitable to enhance the quality based on our own needs and Asian shared values, and second, it will be much obstacle if we prioritize the Western criteria. The first argument is we still have to meet certain criteria made for us in Asian accreditations, but it will be much in the same way with Asian culture and Asian way, which is also shared in our countries. By assessing program based on our value, it will be easier. It will be much easier to enhance the quality and will also become easier to implement by the organizations or the students. For example, where we are assessing some programs in universities for such as student exchange to another part in the country, we will share still similar values of cultures and values of society. And when we bring back the new things we had when we exchange and we share it to the people in the university, it will be so much easier to understand. And when we share, for example, the sopan santun criteria when we are entering a forum, for example, it will be much easier for us to suitable, to feel comfortable, and to working to the criteria. And second, it will be much obstacle if you prioritize Western criteria in accreditation. For example, they are much developed from us, so they will make such as standards that will be hard for us to meet. For example, for the infrastructure, or maybe for the technologies they require to be on the university, it will be hard. For example, when we prioritize the Western accreditation standards, so they required us to have some technologies such as technology, so it will be hard for us because we're not capable to have those technologies, since we have another we still have another obstacle in infrastructure in ourselves, and we still hard to have the fund for the technologies. So it will become hard. It will be harmful for Indonesian universities to prioritize Western standards. In the other hand, for example, when UNY tried to meet the Western accreditation criteria, UNY will be focusing more on how to be the world-class university, rather than to share their culture values and to root their culture values to the students, so the students will be easier to get along with the society and could build their career in the Jakarta itself. So that is why we argue that prioritizing Western accreditations will be beneficial to Indonesian university. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much from opening government UNY. So the next will be opening opposition. The team from UNP, the leader of the opposition will be Pradika. Time and opportunity, I give it to you. Seven minutes, 23 seconds. Time and over.
Check.
Okay, I would like to start my speech in 3, 2, 1. Okay, before I start my argument, I would like to reply what OG said before. The first one is society will be obstacle with the implement. So, can you think? People are adapting, right? People are adapting to the program that we implement. So, the society, the student will be get a obstacle from the implement because their implement Western system, right? That is why OG said. Can you think people are adapting? So we are not just get the obstacle. We can solve the problem if we get the obstacle because we adapting is the best of the human. And then student action. OG said that student action from Indonesia would like to go to the same Asian. Because why? Because we had the same value with the Asian system, with the same university in the Asian. So, but can you think a lot of people would like to go to ISMA program, and YCLE, and a lot of exchange program like Fulbright. They are go to Western, it's like US, Canada, or something. Because why? Because the system in Western are good and better than a system in Asian itself. Because there's a lot of things and interest and education is the best, and that's why a student from Indonesia would like to go to student action in Western than in Asian. So what is my argument? With the motion, we had Western system had a different of policy in student service, because as we know that in Asian system, in Asian university, the policy of student service is gonna be so complicated. Like, for example, the bureaucracy, more bureaucracy in Asian, more complicated because there's a lot of animation to prepare. There's a lot of things that have to prepare and register. It's more easily in Western system. Then in Western system, infrastructure already not in evaluating. Because why? Because infrastructure already good and not come to evaluate and not to come to evaluating in the Western system. And then, can you think we want to have a good education in Indonesia. We want to be the great. So there's a lot of top 100 universities are from Western. As we know, we would like to be the best education in Indonesia. UE is in 800 rank in VCU, world class university. So we still have a lot of gaps to be the best. So what we gonna do? Are we gonna follow the same value with us, or we gonna follow the best education with other education that higher from us? So we gonna follow the best education, right? We're gonna follow the higher education because the system is more good. So it's just like Harvard, Oxford, because there is a good system. Okay. Okay. Can you think if we want to apply that scholarship or for student exchange or something that there's a lot of administration, right? So there's a lot of things that like something that isn't useful. I think there's like something like identity card, just like kartu keluarga or something. So isn't useful for our application? Is it not right? Isn't the influence for our scholarship? So I think that we should follow Western system. Why? Because if Asian system are good, there's a lot of influence people. There's a lot of celebrities would like to go studies in Western university. Just like, can you think Maudi Ayunda are graduate from Western university? Others, Taylor Swift. We all know Taylor Swift, right? Taylor Swift are graduate from Western universities. If Asian universities are good, if Asian system are good, why not Taylor Swift study in Asian? Why not Baudi Ayunda study in Asian? Why? Can you think about that? So my fourth argument. As we know that there's a lot of influence and celebrity study in Western universities. Why all these people that not study in Asian? Logically, if Asian system are the best, they would study in Asian, but they are not, right? Because what? Because the system in the Western are the best in academic quality, are the best in infrastructure, are the best in for us to implement it. So we conclude that Indonesia should have a prioritized accreditation from Western than Asian. We proud to oppose. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for Mr. Pradika. So the time is 5 minutes 35 seconds. So now I would like to invite opening government from UNY. So Deputy Prime Minister from Mr. Darin. Time and opportunity, over to you.
I would like to begin my speech in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so first I would like to reply on all of the EOG's replies, and one of them is about the people are adapting. You said that the people are adapting, and due to that, you can apply all of the Western or maybe the Western education system into our education climate. But I don't really see your explanation on how can we really adapt and education systems that has been applied directly into Indonesia. Why do we as Asian countries have our own organizational education accreditation rather than we only follow the Western countries? Because as the principle, we are different in any kind of like aspects. I would like to explain further in my arguments, but at the second thing, that the student exchange system, you said that because if we were to exchange to Asian countries, we have the same values, but most students want to go to Western countries, and that is true because it is for them it is better, and it is better by their own point of view. And better does not mean the best. You've said that the Western education is the best, but I don't really see Western education as the best because we don't really see Western education system acclimated or applied into other countries. I don't really see how there is the urgency of our education or maybe our government of education system that is to apply directly American or maybe Western systems into our education climate. And for the third is, the best in the world does not mean the best for our current generation. And for us developing countries in Asia, it is far more urgent to start or to build a strong foundation, and then we try to build a stronger education system that is maybe more similar to the Western system. As of right now, the urgency is to improve the current foundation of our education system in Asian generations. I would like to move on into my first argument point, and that is there is a lot of difference in values. Different regions mean different backgrounds, such as country history, learning culture, and overall quality of education. Western countries applies a very kind of like free environment for their students and allows for a more open representation of themselves without delving too much into the cultural and historical side of an individual, because Western countries don't really have a very strong cultural background. Asian countries are rich in culture. We have a plethora of moral values and norms that directly applies to everyone in that country, whether or not they are inside the educational system or not. By prioritizing Asian accreditation, we have a stronger understanding of the core values that we Asian countries have. Why? We have the same background, climate condition, student needs, and all other things. And most of all, Asian countries are mostly developing countries, which are far different than Western developed countries in every aspect: teacher quality, public facilities. Those are the things that does not directly impact the students, but they also have their own kind of like place in the students' or maybe in the universities. And for the second point, we need to recognize that education does not only come in a formal package. Students does not only learn from universities. They also learn from their houses, they also learn from their social, and also the last part is also it is from the cultural side. By using an accreditation that is applied by this Western or by the Western countries, we would likely eliminate those factors. We would likely eliminate the cultural side. We would likely eliminate the core values that we as an Asian countries have. And for the third part of my point is the urgency to change the accreditation system is not that apparent. We don't really see the urgency due to our already growing education. And one of the most kind of like point out Asian countries, maybe Singapore. Singapore has already a very great education system. Most of our students in Indonesia themselves want to go to Singapore because Singapore have a very kind of a different background. They have people from East Asia, they have people from Western Asia, and those students have a direct impact on our generational or maybe in our current situation in globally. And Asian countries are already competent. We already see that in Asian countries such as Malaysia, such as Indonesia. You can? Okay, thank you. And for a more kind of like open understanding, such as Singapore and Indonesia are very different countries, right? We see that Singapore has already a developed and already stronger foundation than us. And for our current situation in Asia, as I said before, our current situation is most of the countries in Asia are developing countries. We are not developed. And for Singapore, they already are a developed country. They already have a very strong grasp of their education system. They already know what their situation are, and they want to improve of that because they are already better than most of the Asian countries. So in order to improve, they need to go somewhere that is already improved. For Indonesia and for other developing countries, we cannot do that because we don't have a very strong foundation. And moving on, Asian accreditation systems are from countries that is acclimated in Asian regions, where there are such as Asian accreditation system are developed by learning from our Asian countries, not only in Asian but also in Asia in general, such as Japan, such as China. They already have a very competitive and already very worldwide known education system. China and Japan, people would very much like to learn from in there because they're already developed country. They have a very strong education system, and by applying and by using those kind of like aspects, they did not eliminate their own kind of like core values. And we would like to play into that because we as Asian countries, we have a very kind of like different way, different background, and different kind of system from our Western side. And for the last kind of part of my argument, university accreditation final goal is to improve student outcomes. Far more than that, to create a better workforce. And for Western education are created to create a better Western workforce. Asian education are created to create a better Asian workforce. We have a very different kind of like workforce generation, workforce criteria, and workforce kind of like personality. Most Asian countries workforce are more sick due to the diligence and also the resilient personality. So in conclusion, the Western accreditation for Asian countries are not an urgent in this setting due to the difference in values, educational environment, and the need to change the workforce. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for Team Deputy Prime Minister. So, Mr. Devin has given his speech 7 minutes 18 seconds. So now I would like to invite opening opposition from UNP, Deputy Leader of the Opposition, Ms. Gabriela. Time and opportunity, I give it to you.
Okay, I will start my argument in 3, 2,
one. Okay, I have three reasons why I think Western one should be prioritized in our university's regulation. First is about the Western accreditation focus on academic quality. You know, Indonesian universities government faculty qualification are complicated. Already say it by my friends, but I want to restate it again. First, I see a lot of my friends required to spend their time to help the complicated term in faculty that impact to their academic activities, such as they are need to getting a permission to not attend the class for helping the lecturer to complete the administration. You know, this shows that the administration that we have are too complicated. And the other thing is about for our lecture. You know that the lecture in universities handle so many things, such as administration, teaching, so many meetings that impact the quality of how they are teach of our in the class. Regarding all of the activities, many lecturer decide to hold the class online. So you know that this is impact the student not as understanding the material because the teacher choose to go in the class online. But why the teacher do that? Because the complicated the administration, because the lecturer need to do many things in the universities. And for the second point that I have is about the Western accreditation evaluate the student service. Okay, for the most important is we need to highlight the student service, such as counseling, scholarship information, or international office, etc. In Indonesia, the student service, especially in universities, need to completing the complex administration. Can you imagine if we talk about the counseling? The student need help in that day, but they cannot because we have a lot of registration, we have a lot of administration that to do it. But they need our help that day, but we cannot do that because they are need to require the name, or any other things that need a lot of time and take a lot of time. So it will impact they're gonna not will be effective because that will impact the student feel hopeless and choosing to keep it in themselves. You know, this is a very bad, especially if we talk about the mental health for the counseling. That's why we need to evaluate more to our student service. That's why this Western accreditation is best, because the Western accreditation will focus on how we evaluate the student service in our universities. And the last point that I have is about a lot of good universities come from Western area. I want to restate my friends talk about that. In Indonesia, we cannot even include in top 100 campus rank. It means we need to evaluate more our policies and regulation, starting to prioritize the accreditation. It also show that Western accreditations are much better. And I want to restate the government said about the better are not the best. You know how many times that our lecture are come from abroad. We have a lot of dosen tamu, and how many times that we need to go over just to observe. Please. Okay, just to observe. How many our lecture going to abroad just to observe their academic system just by seeing that, and by that we know that Western system are best. Okay. Okay, why the Western accreditation is not harm that I think. Okay, so because the Western accreditation will evaluate the student service, and this is show just by this information that we know that about the student service. So they are really check it, double check it, triple check it about the student service, and this is best for the student or not. And that's why I said this is more good in our universities, because a lot of our students are not come from the highest family rank, and they come from middle to lower, and that's why we need to focus more in the student service. And for the start is about the world-class universities.
Before, we talk about the world-class universities that come from ASEAN standard and the obstacle. You said that we have a lot of obstacle if we choose the Western accreditation. Okay, so I want to feeling a contra about this state. It's because if you guys thinking about the obstacle, yeah, that's why we need the best accreditation to handle this obstacle. You know, the obstacle we cannot eliminate or we cannot mengesampingkan this thing, but we need to handle. We need to handle the obstacle, not to avoiding that. Okay, so I want to conclude my argument for today as first about the ASEAN accreditation are too complicated, such as administration thing, and the second is about the Western focus on student services. That's why I think this is more better than ASEAN system one. And the last thing is about a lot of good universities come from Western area, and also because I have more time, so I want to talk about in reality. Many of us feel not enough, just stuck in this country. Why? Because we are feeling not good in these universities, because we need to feeling better to going abroad. That's why we study hard. We study the IELTS, we study the Duolingo, we're that's just like us, we start really hard to understanding the English. Why? Because we want to go abroad, because we want to learn more in other country, just to stuck in this country. Why? Because in deep of our heart, we feel that we need to go. We need to go because we feel that the Western accreditation are much better in Indonesia in reality, and I think you're feeling that too in your heart. Okay, so that's enough for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much for opening opposition team from UNP. So Miss Gabriela has her time 7 minutes 2 seconds. Now I would like to give the time for closing government from UNG. The first is member of the government will be Mr. Randy. Time and opportunity, I give it to you.
Check. Is this audible enough for everyone? Okay. POI preference is strictly non-verbal. Just stand up because I can see you guys very clearly from my point of view. Okay, great. I'll start my speech in the count of 3, 2, 1. I think the exchange that happens in opening at best prove to you on why they cannot win this debate panels, because all the focus is on which side is inherently better, which is Western or Asian, and not talking about how on which side actually gives more incentive for the university to be better, which is exactly what closing government is going to do within this debate. So therefore, CG is already win the debate. And then let's talk about OO then. I think firstly on OO point about exchange program, I don't think it is actually relevant enough. I don't think it is actually exclusively relevant within the debate, because the fact that lots of LPDP awardee, for example, inherently wants to go back to their host country and wants to actually study again in their host university already proves you that there's a certain superiority culture and there's a certain inferior culture that exists in between Western university and Asian university at the end of the day. So talking about how actually Western university is better, and on how, for example, Maudi Ayunda and like Taylor Swift studies in NYU and Oxford, for example, already proves to you that people see Western countries, for example, have that much of a superiority to begin with at the end of the day, right? So therefore, I don't think it is exclusively relevant within the debate. And then secondly, then on their point of how the process of accreditation, I think it is inherently complicated within the very first place. So I don't know why OO is trying to argue on how the process is initially difficult for the students, because when you want to pursue Western accreditation within the very first place, you're still going to put students and faculty into so much pressure to begin with, which further gives them into another difficult mental health situations to begin with, right? So therefore, OO is out of the debate. A few points of reframing then from CG, because I don't think OG gives you a clear enough of a structure on how the debate should work at the end of the day. Let's put on a new framing on how the Indonesian university actually look like then. I think firstly, I think not all university is actually in within the top 10 and have that much of resources to begin with, i.e. students in India, for example, is not the same as the students that, for example, go to UI, for example. And then secondly, I think inherently, university in Indonesia already have a different starting point to begin with. Like for example, lots of university are already that big and that much established to begin with, and some are even still struggling to manage their curriculum better at the end of the day. So this already gives you a proof on unfairness that exists in within the process of accreditation. So therefore, it is inherently unfair for example, lots of university in Indonesia to heavily prioritize on Western accreditation at the end of the day. And then thirdly, I think in Indonesia recently, the recent phenomenon, the university inherently wants to be its own body of government. Like for example, look at how the narrative of PTNBH is extremely viable in within our current status quo. And note that this is something that are actually exclusive on CG because we're the only one that are going to talk about to you on how the idea that university, there's three things here. Firstly, the idea that university wants to control its own resources and manage their policy better. And then secondly, on how the university actually wants to manage their own funding, etc. And then thirdly, how university in our current status quo wants to be its own corporation to begin with already proves to you why the process of accreditation is inherently unfair for the university that exists in the top 10 and the non-top 10 at the end of the day. So on to my first argument then. But then before that, last point of framing then, how does the process of prioritizing Western accreditation look like? I think firstly, it would be your entire focus, and then secondly, you will heavily jot down your effort to that instead of just actually managing your own resources better in within the problem that exists in your university. So onto my argument then, on why this is not something that Indonesian universities should heavily prioritize principally. I think firstly, the idea that not all universities can meet the rigorous standards of FIBBA, for example, which further worsen the inferiority and superiority culture that exists in within our current status quo, i.e. for example, if UI managed to actually get a Western accreditation, that means the students in UI can actually look down to other people because again, they will see a certain superiority and inferiority culture that exists in within university. But note that in our current status quo, this kind of culture already exists in within the very first place with how the top 10 university and the non-top 10 university actually compete for that place at the end of the day, right? And then secondly, I think when you heavily prioritize on Western standards, that will mean you want to actually submit to sustainably. So how does this look like? If OO and CO wants to actually prioritize on Western accreditations, they have to actually submit to sustainably. Look at how in our current status quo, the process of accreditations looks like only comes in the form of formality, for example, the way you actually want to paint your building, the way that exists in Indonesia at the end of the day, right, panel? So therefore, I think this is already proves to you on why principally Western accreditation is not something that you should heavily prioritize as a university that exists in Indonesia. And onto my second argument then, talking about the incentive for the university to be better and how is this going to look like with Asian accreditation at the end of the day. I think firstly, it'll be about how it makes us as a university actually approach accreditation better because the measurement or the standard that exists under the current status quo already comes under the university that exists in Asian. Look at how, for example, we cannot directly compete with Ivy League, we cannot directly compete with Harvard and Yale, for example, at the end of the day because inherently you already have a different culture, already have a different standards to begin with, right? So therefore, I think the incentive for university to be better was better at the end of the day. So what are the impacts that you get on CG then? I think firstly, you get a better incentive as a university to be better because again, you have already know the measurement and the standard is something that you're already more familiar with, right? So therefore, I think this is why you as a university wants to inherently be better, especially with the fact that the narrative of PTNBH is actually viable within our current status quo. So therefore, it will far more likely for you to prioritize your student needs better. It will far more likely for you to be better as a university if you have already know the measurement and the standards at the end of the day. And then secondly then, I think it is going to take a much more efficient time for you as a university to be better. So how does this look like? If OO and CO wants to actually pursue Western accreditation to begin with, they have to realize that it's going to take a much longer time. They have to realize that they have to make twice the amount of effort because they have a different starting point to begin with. And then secondly, they have to realize that in order for them to compete with Western university at the end of the day, they have to actually take a much longer time at the end of the day. And then thirdly, you get a better way for you to manage the university and you're going to do it more sustainably because at the end of the day, you control your own funding, you control your own policy with the fact that Asian accreditation is something that you're already more familiar with. And with that, we're more than just proud to propose. Thank you.
Thank you very much for team closing government from UNG. From member of the government Randy, He has given the time 7 minutes 19 seconds. So now I would like to invite from team closing opposition from UNESA. Member of the opposition will be Miss Helen. Time and opportunity, I give it to you.
Okay, thank you for your occasions. I will start my speech in 3, 2, 1. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed adjudicators and fellow debaters. I'm honored to present the opposition viewpoints today. With the motion, is this House belief that Indonesia University should prioritize accreditation from Asian organizations over Western ones. I will start my debate with motivation letter from Marcus Garvey. With confidence, you already won before you start. So let me introduce myself. My name is Helen Alsadai Marung as the member of the oppositions. First of all, I will want to rebuttal from the government team that the Singapore is an example the Asian schools, but in fact Singapore's almost used Cambridge curriculum and adapted a China curriculum and standard. We can see the Singapore has more qualification teachers from Europe and dominated from their schools, which is the Western people. And the government said that the Western accreditation is not sustainable for Indonesia. But we can see the national accreditation is always about the administrations, like the opposition team before. So ladies and gentlemen, let's imagine that a school who just focus about the outcomes and administrative things, then the process to improve their institutions. It's really hard things to do. If we implemented the Asian accreditations, even the Western accreditations. And like the opposition said before, that students in Indonesia is more want to go to the outside country, who wants more participant in ISMA than PMN, than MBKM, than national programs, because in Indonesia itself, it's more rigid and more difficult to us to make it come true. And then I want to rebuttal from the government team that is the Western accreditations is not yet adapted to Indonesia. But unfortunately, in fact, in our university in UNESA, focused in Faculty of Education, there are special education and non-formal education who already do a FIBA accreditations. And the special educations and non-formal educations, it's more have more qualities than the another majors. They have more good teachers, lectures, and more good students. And then I will add some arguments why the Indonesian universities should adapt Western accreditations. So we must realize that quality assurance to Western accreditation is better than Asians. We can see from the curriculum implementations and prospective students prefer to go to another country to study, like the opposition said before. So the next one is the Western accreditations more focused to evaluate quality of education, while Asians accreditation focus about administrative tasks. We can see from the informations before that the Western accreditations just carried about the service, while the information from the accreditation from Asians, it's just talk about the students' outcomes. So the nationals accreditations just talk about the outcomes, while the Western is talks about the process. So in Indonesia, we just focus about how the students can be the best, but the Westerns talks about how we can make the students improve and be the best. The next is in Western accreditations, they are the curricular overview. So the curricular overview is has more details and focus with the material. So it's they have like a mini table. Actually, I has do internship in quality assurance in my faculty. So I help many. Today in our university has accreditations for my major itself want to FIBA accreditations and ACUN accreditation. So in Western accreditation, there are curricular overview. We have many table. We can evaluate and we can see the many obstacles on there from the previous years. The curricular overview such as the hours, course, and teaching method. And from the Western curricular, they have one specific teaching method from each course. And the Western accreditations, we talk about Western accreditation outputs. So ladies and gentlemen, in Western education, in Western accreditation outputs, there are decreased quality of accreditations, while in national accreditations, there are decreased quality of accreditations. But in the Western accreditation outputs, it's almost two options, unconditionally and conditional. So when the unconditional, it takes the major its success to more improve their curricular and teaching method. And if we get the conditional, the Western will be evaluated from the quality assurance of their university itself. So for me, last I said, I'm as a opposition team strongly believe that the Indonesian university should adapt the Western accreditations. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much from team closing opposition from UNESA, Miss Helen. So she gives the time 7 minutes 22 seconds. Now I would like to invite from closing government UNG, government whip will be Miss Artika. Time and opportunity, I give it to you.
Okay, I will start my speech in 3, 2, 1. Why do I think CEO cannot win this debate? Because chemistry curriculum is a high school curriculum, so that is not apple-to-apple comparison. Second one is sustainably managing your accreditation is inherently more difficult at the end of the day. And OO already agrees that at their speech, so cannot come to the debate by saying that university in Indonesia can successfully manage that with the limited resources that they have. And also, OG is already mentioned that even if we are using the ASEAN accreditation over the Western one, we still can participate in the world class competition like with the ASEAN accreditation, because it's not like even if we use the ASEAN accreditation, it's not mean like the ASEAN accreditation is already low. And also the environment is really different for us. That it's not going to be capable for Indonesian university to have the Western accreditation, because again the culture is already different, and also the society. It's more suitable for Indonesia with the culture and resources, but they will be more they will be more focusing on how to be the great university with the ASEAN accreditation. And also, if Indonesia already use the ASEAN accreditation, the university will give a better environment, because they will evaluate the university about what can they do better for the environment, for the culture, and so on. And also, we still have the same standard The difference is just like this is going to be around the ASEAN region. And also for the student, if they use the Western accreditation, they think they can look down for the university that use the ASEAN accreditation, because they think they are already better with the Western accreditation. And also the CG already mentioned that even if Indonesia using the Western accreditation, it will not be fair to the other university that is not come from the top 10, because we already have the different resources, because the top 10 university they already have the good resources and also good environment. So it's not going to be fair for the university that is not come from the top 10. And also for the standard, because we are living in ASEAN region, we already have the standard that already set in the ASEAN region that make Indonesian university can more adaptable to the ASEAN accreditation. If the universities that already use the ASEAN accreditation, they will give a better environment to meet the specific criteria, because if the goal of the university only going for the Western accreditation, they will not going to be evaluate the universities, because they already meet the goal. So they are not going to evaluate about what can they do better for the student. They already have the Western accreditation. Yes? Okay.
Can you explain more about the mechanism of why we can still going well with the ASEAN system? Because you say that we can going well with the ASEAN system, but can you explain? Can you responsible with your answer? Thank you.
Okay, I think why does this ASEAN accreditation is better? Because first, for the culture, it's already better for Indonesian, because we have the different culture with the Western, right? And the society we already have a really different society, like the sopan santun that Siji already mentioned, because we don't have a sopan santun. Maybe they have, but they don't really use the sopan santun in the Western university. So it's going to be more capable for Indonesia to have this accreditation. And also Western accreditation typically refers to the quality assurance process that is different from the ASEAN, because it doesn't make the ASEAN accreditation law. Okay, I think that's all from me. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much from team closing government, Miss Artika. So Miss Artika has given her time 5 minutes 16 seconds. So now I would like to invite from closing opposition team from UNESA, Miss Olivia. Same opportunity, I give it to you.
Check. Okay, I will start my argument in 3, 2, 1. Good morning, esteemed judges, fellow debaters, and respected audience. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Olivia Jihan Ravenia as a opposition whip from the opposition team, and I'm honored to present my argument. So here I will argue and straighten the point why we didn't agree with THBD Indonesian University should prioritize accreditation from Asian organization over Western one, and we disagree with it. We must prioritize the Western one. Okay, so my partner, the opposition team, clearly outlined that we adapt the quality and not for the culture. Because the quality is not about the culture or background, it's about the process. Also, in Western, there's more simplify in bureaucracy and can more focus. It can more focus on educational quality because of effectiveness bureaucrations. So they focus on quality of education, not just for the students' outcomes. It's more impactful to us. And the simplified bureaucracy is affected to our easiness, to our effectiveness to handling and apply the scholarship. And we all know that the Western University is good. Alright? And we all know that Western University is good because they evaluate the standards with the Western accreditations and not Asian accreditations. They prioritize the student process and not student outcomes. And the urgency they always mention, the urgency we met the standard of Western quality assurance is we can promote, we can compete with the global education and gain interest of the overseas. Also, we use Western accreditations as our reference to be a good education institutions. Back on the complex bureaucrations, the complex of an administrations in Indonesia is give a bad impact to our academic because of distractions to handle the administrations. And based on the QS world ranking universities, the Asian universities, most of it is still on low ranking, and most of the Western university is on the higher than it. And also the government say that we can successfully not for you how many data in Indonesia who has successfully national have a great education, and they can show it, they can present it. And also I will strengthen the point why we must prioritize Western accreditations over the national or Asian accreditations. Yes, please. Sorry, can you repeat it? I can't hear you clearly. Okay, so basically, the process in Western accreditation is more complex, yes, because of different culture. But here, the different culture, we need to adapt. We need to adapt because of the student outcomes also responsible, and we always calculate it. And I will straighten the point. Okay, back on my arguments, I will straighten the points why we must prioritize the quality assurance, Western quality assurance, as my opposition team, because the society in Asia realize that all of us apply scholarship, all of us will to go to take our study in the Western. because of curriculum implementation. Yes, please.
You said that quality is not about culture but the process. And why is that? And what process have you?
Okay, I will answer in my last speech. Okay. And also the gain of society needs, the gain of society interests. The scholarship to overseas is always have more participant with the most of interest in UK, Europe or Canada, because we must remember again the one most of the best curriculum is in UK, especially in Finland. Okay, so they always the most interest. Okay, based on the data in cnnnews.com that they have they have 4 universities favorites to apply scholarship. There is Cambridge University, Edinburgh University, Oxford University, and Toronto University, which is used evaluates by a Western accreditations, and it shows that Western accreditations is more important than Asians accreditations. And also, because of the curricular, and also the students' output in Western better and best than Asian, as our opposition team say. Okay, because in the Western accreditations, they evaluate the directors, lectures, and also the courses based on the publications, and they also conduct a SAR. If you know SAR is self-assessment reflections that they conduct to evaluate themselves. And also the curricular overview. If you know the curricular overview is the curriculum design. The curriculum that design with courses, hours of courses, the teaching method. It's really neat. That's the needs of the students. Because students is need to learning and not just for handling the administrative things. And also Western focus in process and while Asians in outcomes. And we can conclude that based on our arguments and fact, we still choose to prioritize the Western accreditations to conduct a more good, conduct the best Asian, conduct the best Indonesian to be a good institutions. And we from the opposition team strongly disagree and believe we didn't agree with these motions. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, thank you very much for team closing opposition from UNESA. Now I would like to give the time for our adjudicator to move to transit room to deliberate the result. And also I want to remind for all the teams, don't go anywhere. So we take a rest room. Thank you. Okay, thank you. So who wants to go to the toilet can ask permission from... Okay, now I would like to give the time back to our MC.
All the participants can take snake with the committee in front of the main room.
Kita belajar Pancasila, kita bernafas dalam sila-silanya. Kita belajar Pancasila, ayo kita jaga untuk Indonesia. Bersatu dalam perbedaan, berpegang tangan dan berlari. Singkirkan egomu, oh kawan, demi negeri ini. Jadilah generasi emas, cerdas berkarakter itu kita. Berjuang dan harus berani. Kita terus torehkan prestasi. Kita belajar Pancasila, kita bernafas dalam sila-silanya. Kita belajar Pancasila, ayo kita jaga untuk Indonesia. Kita belajar Pancasila, kita bernafas dalam sila-silanya. Kita belajar Pancasila, ayo kita jaga untuk Indonesia.
Ekstra panas dan polusi bikin kulit belang, kasar dan kusam. Biore Bright White Scrub dengan brightening natural scrub dan niacinamide, kulit tampak cerah merata dan terasa halus. Extra action, ekstra tampak cerah.
Buyah, pasti seru, pasti dapat item baru. Dapatkan kode unik Free Fire di setiap kemasan Mikromas.
Aku Gebi.
Di tanah harapanlah kita berkumpul menuntut ilmu sepenuh hati penuh gairah. Langkah kaki ini pasti takkan pernah pudar menuju cahaya di ujung jalan yang jelas. Pedagang muda terus langkahkan kaki, semangat menyala dalam setiap janji, mengukir prestasi dari mimpi yang berani. Bersama kita bisa harumkan negeri. Mari bersama kita raih cita, dengan tangan kita ubah dunia. Jadikan semua penuh warna, kompetisi ini milik bersama. Fakultas Ilmu Pendidikan tempat kita belajar di Universitas Negeri Gorontalo bersinar. Setiap guru muda adalah bintang, pancarkan cahaya tanpa ada yang hilang. Langkah tegap tanpa ragu melangkah, menembus batas mimpi yang tinggi. Kami semua adalah pemenang dengan semangat yang tak pernah mati. Mari bersama kita raih cita, dengan tangan kita ubah dunia. Jadikan semua penuh warna, kompetisi ini milik bersama. Ilmu pendidikan tempat kita belajar di Universitas Negeri Gorontalo bersinar. Setiap guru muda adalah bintang, pancarkan cahaya tanpa ada yang hilang. Mari bersama kita raih cita, dengan tangan kita ubah dunia. Jadikan semua penuh warna, kompetisi ini milik bersama. Mari bersama. Di tanah harap, di tanah harap. Di tanah harapanlah kita berkumpul, menuntut ilmu sepenuh hati, penuh gairah. Langkah kaki ini pasti takkan pernah pudar, menuju cahaya di ujung jalan yang jelas. Pedagog muda terus langkahkan kaki, semangat menyala dalam setiap janji, mengukir prestasi dari mimpi yang berani. Bersama kita bisa harumkan negeri. Mari bersama kita raih cita, dengan tangan kita ubah dunia, jadikan semua penuh warna. Kompetisi ini milik bersama. Fakultas Ilmu Pendidikan tempat kita belajar di Universitas Negeri Gorontalo bersinar. Setiap guru muda adalah bintang, pancarkan cahaya tanpa ada yang hilang. Langkah tegap tanpa ragu melangkah, menembus batas mimpi yang tinggi. Kami semua adalah pemenang, dengan semangat yang tak pernah mati. Mari bersama kita raih cita, dengan tangan kita ubah dunia, jadikan semua penuh warna. Kompetisi ini milik bersama. Fakultas Ilmu Pendidikan tempat kita belajar di Universitas Negeri Gorontalo bersinar. Setiap guru muda adalah bintang, pancarkan cahaya tanpa ada yang hilang. Mari bersama kita raih cita, dengan tangan kita ubah dunia, jadikan semua penuh warna. Kompetisi ini milik bersama. Di tanah harapanlah kita berkumpul, penuh hati, penuh gairah. Langkah kaki ini pasti takkan pernah pudar, menuju cahaya di ujung jalan yang jelas. Pedagog muda terus langkahkan kaki, semangat menyala dalam setiap janji, mengukir prestasi dari mimpi yang berani. Bersama kita bisa harumkan negeri. Mari bersama kita raih cita, dengan tangan kita ubah dunia, jadikan semua penuh warna. Kompetisi ini milik bersama. Fakultas Ilmu Pendidikan tempat kita belajar di Universitas Negeri Gorontalo bersinar. Setiap guru muda adalah bintang, pancarkan cahaya tanpa ada yang hilang. Langkah tegap tanpa ragu melangkah, menembus batas mimpi yang tinggi. Kami semua adalah pemenang, dengan semangat yang tak pernah mati. Mari bersama kita raih cita, dengan tangan kita ubah dunia, jadikan semua penuh warna. Kompetisi ini milik bersama. pendidikan tempat kita belajar. Di Universitas Negeri Gorontalo bersinar. Setiap guru muda adalah bintang, pancarkan cahaya tanpa ada yang hilang. Mari bersama kita raih cita, dengan tangan kita ubah dunia, jadikan semua penuh warna. Kompetisi ini milik bersama. Wow. Di tanah harapanlah kita berkumpul, menuntut ilmu sepenuh hati, penuh gairah. Langkah kaki ini pasti takkan pernah pudar, menuju cahaya di ujung jalan yang jelas. Pedagog muda terus langkahkan kaki, semangat menyala dalam setiap janji, mengukir prestasi dari mimpi yang berani. Bersama kita bisa harumkan negeri. Mari bersama kita raih cita, dengan tangan kita ubah dunia, jadikan semua penuh warna. Kompetisi ini milik bersama. Fakultas Ilmu Pendidikan tempat kita belajar. Di Universitas Negeri Gorontalo bersinar. Setiap guru muda adalah bintang, pancarkan cahaya tanpa ada yang hilang. Langkah tegap tanpa ragu melangkah, menembus batas mimpi yang tinggi. Kami semua adalah pemenang, dengan semangat yang tak pernah mati. Mari bersama kita raih cita, dengan tangan kita ubah dunia, jadikan semua penuh warna. Kompetisi ini milik bersama. Fakultas Ilmu Pendidikan tempat kita belajar. Di Universitas Negeri Gorontalo bersinar. Setiap guru muda adalah bintang, pancarkan cahaya tanpa ada yang hilang. Mari bersama kita raih cita, dengan tangan kita ubah dunia, jadikan semua penuh warna. Kompetisi ini milik bersama. Wow. Di tanah harapanlah kita berkumpul, menuntut ilmu sepenuh hati, penuh gairah. Langkah kaki ini pasti takkan pernah pudar, menuju cahaya di ujung jalan yang jelas. Pedagog muda terus langkahkan kaki, semangat menyala dalam setiap janji, mengukir prestasi dari mimpi yang berani. Bersama kita bisa harumkan negeri. Mari bersama kita raih cita, dengan tangan kita ubah dunia, jadikan semua penuh warna. Kompetisi ini milik bersama. Fakultas Ilmu Pendidikan tempat kita belajar. Di Universitas Negeri Gorontalo bersinar. Setiap guru muda adalah bintang, pancarkan cahaya tanpa ada yang hilang. Langkah tegap tanpa ragu melangkah, menembus batas mimpi yang tinggi. Kami semua adalah pemenang dengan semangat yang tak pernah mati. Mari bersama kita raih cita, dengan tangan kita ubah dunia, jadikan semua penuh warna. Kompetisi ini milik bersama. Fakultas Ilmu Pendidikan tempat kita belajar, di Universitas Negeri Gorontalo bersinar. Setiap guru muda adalah bintang, pancarkan cahaya tanpa ada yang hilang. Mari bersama kita raih cita, dengan tangan kita ubah dunia, jadikan semua penuh warna. Kompetisi ini milik bersama. Wow. Di tanah harapanlah kita berkumpul, menuntut ilmu sepenuh hati, penuh gairah. Langkah kaki ini pasti takkan pernah pudar, menuju cahaya di ujung jalan yang jelas. Pedagog muda terus langkahkan kaki, semangat menyala dalam setiap janji, mengukir prestasi dari mimpi yang berani. Bersama kita bisa harumkan negeri. Mari bersama kita raih cita, dengan tangan kita ubah dunia, jadikan semua penuh warna. Kompetisi ini milik bersama. Fakultas Ilmu Pendidikan tempat kita belajar, di Universitas Negeri Gorontalo bersinar. Setiap guru muda adalah bintang, pancarkan cahaya tanpa ada yang hilang. Langkah tegap tanpa ragu melangkah, menembus batas mimpi yang tinggi. Kami semua adalah pemenang dengan semangat yang tak pernah mati. Mari bersama kita raih cita, dengan tangan kita ubah dunia, jadikan semua penuh warna. Kompetisi ini milik bersama. Fakultas Ilmu Pendidikan tempat kita belajar, di Universitas Negeri Gorontalo bersinar. Setiap guru muda adalah bintang, pancarkan cahaya tanpa ada yang hilang. Mari bersama kita raih cita, dengan tangan kita ubah dunia, jadikan semua penuh warna. Kompetisi ini milik bersama. Wow. Di tanah harapanlah kita berkumpul, menuntut ilmu sepenuh hati, penuh gairah. Langkah kaki ini pasti takkan pernah pudar, menuju cahaya di ujung jalan yang jelas. Pedagog muda terus langkahkan kaki, semangat menyala dalam setiap janji, mengukir prestasi dari mimpi yang berani. Bersama kita bisa harumkan negeri. Mari bersama kita raih cita, dengan tangan kita ubah dunia, jadikan semua penuh warna. Kompetisi ini milik bersama. Fakultas Ilmu Pendidikan tempat kita belajar, di Universitas Negeri Gorontalo bersinar. Setiap guru muda adalah bintang, pancarkan cahaya tanpa ada yang hilang. Langkah tegap tanpa ragu melangkah, menembus batas mimpi yang tinggi. Kami semua adalah pemenang, dengan semangat yang tak pernah mati. Mari bersama kita raih cita, dengan tangan kita ubah dunia, jadikan semua penuh warna. Kompetisi ini milik bersama. Fakultas Ilmu Pendidikan tempat kita belajar, di Universitas Negeri Gorontalo bersinar. Setiap guru muda adalah bintang, pancarkan cahaya tanpa ada yang hilang. Mari bersama kita raih cita, dengan tangan kita ubah dunia, jadikan semua penuh warna. Kompetisi ini milik bersama. Wow. Di tanah harapanlah kita berkumpul, menuntut ilmu sepenuh hati, penuh gairah. Langkah kaki ini pasti takkan pernah pudar, menuju cahaya di ujung jalan yang jelas. Pedagog muda terus langkahkan kaki, semangat menyala dalam setiap janji, mengukir prestasi dari mimpi yang berani. Di tanah harapanlah kita berkumpul, menuntut ilmu sepenuh hati, penuh gairah. Langkah di tanah harapanlah kita berkumpul, menuntut ilmu sepenuh hati, penuh gairah. Langkah kaki ini pasti takkan pernah pudar, menuju cahaya di ujung jalan yang jelas. Pedagog muda terus langkahkan kaki, semangat menyala dalam setiap janji, mengukir prestasi dari mimpi yang berani. Bersama kita bisa harumkan negeri. Mari bersama kita raih cita, dengan tangan kita ubah dunia, jadikan semua penuh warna. Kompetisi ini milik bersama. Fakultas Ilmu Pendidikan tempat kita belajar di Universitas Negeri Gorontalo bersinar. Setiap guru muda adalah bintang pancarkan cahaya tanpa ada yang hilang. Langkah tegap tanpa ragu melangkah, menembus batas mimpi yang tinggi. Kami semua adalah pemenang dengan semangat yang tak pernah mati. Mari bersama kita raih cita, dengan tangan kita ubah dunia. Jadikan semua penuh warna, kompetisi ini milik bersama. Ilmu pendidikan tempat kita belajar di Universitas Negeri Gorontalo bersinar. Setiap guru muda adalah bintang pancarkan cahaya tanpa ada yang hilang. Mari bersama kita raih cita, dengan tangan kita ubah dunia. Jadikan semua penuh warna, kompetisi ini milik bersama. Mari bersama di tanah harapanlah kita berkumpul, menuntut ilmu sepenuh hati, penuh gairah. Langkah kaki ini pasti takkan pernah pudar, menuju cahaya di ujung jalan yang jelas. Pedagog muda terus langkahkan kaki, semangat menyala dalam setiap janji, mengukir prestasi dari mimpi yang berani. Bersama kita bisa harumkan negeri. Mari bersama kita raih cita, dengan tangan kita ubah dunia. Jadikan semua penuh warna, kompetisi ini milik bersama. Fakultas Ilmu Pendidikan tempat kita belajar di Universitas Negeri Gorontalo bersinar. Setiap guru muda adalah bintang pancarkan cahaya tanpa ada yang hilang. Langkah tegap tanpa ragu melangkah, menembus batas mimpi yang tinggi. Kami semua adalah pemenang dengan semangat yang tak pernah mati. Mari bersama kita raih cita, dengan tangan kita ubah dunia. Jadikan semua penuh warna, kompetisi ini milik bersama. Ilmu pendidikan tempat kita belajar di Universitas Negeri Gorontalo bersinar. Setiap guru muda adalah bintang pancarkan cahaya tanpa ada yang hilang. Mari bersama kita raih cita, dengan tangan kita ubah dunia. Jadikan semua penuh warna, kompetisi ini milik bersama. Mari bersama. Di tanah harapanlah kita berkumpul menuntut ilmu sepenuh hati penuh gairah. Langkah kaki ini pasti takkan pernah pudar menuju cahaya di ujung jalan yang jelas. Pedagog muda terus langkahkan kaki, semangat menyala dalam setiap janji, mengukir prestasi dari mimpi yang berani. Bersama kita bisa harumkan negeri. Mari bersama kita raih cita, dengan tangan kita ubah dunia. Jadikan semua penuh warna, kompetisi ini milik bersama. Fakultas Ilmu Pendidikan tempat kita belajar di Universitas Negeri Gorontalo bersinar. Setiap guru muda adalah bintang, pancarkan cahaya tanpa ada yang hilang. Langkah tegak tanpa ragu melangkah, menembus batas mimpi yang tinggi. Kami semua adalah pemenang dengan semangat yang tak pernah mati. Mari bersama kita raih cita, dengan tangan kita ubah dunia. Jadikan semua penuh warna, kompetisi ini milik bersama. Ilmu pendidikan tempat kita belajar di Universitas Negeri Gorontalo bersinar. Setiap guru muda adalah bintang, pancarkan cahaya tanpa ada yang hilang. Mari bersama kita raih cita, dengan tangan kita ubah dunia. Jadikan semua penuh warna, kompetisi ini milik bersama. Mari bersama. Di tanah harapanlah kita berkumpul menuntut ilmu sepenuh.
Test one. Okay. Excuse me, pardon. While we wait for the adjudicators to do the recapitulation. Oh, okay. Looks like the result has arrived. So I will invite again our adjudicators.
Nanti langsung kasih kartu saja ke Bu Sulis, nanti mereka yang bagi sendiri.
Okay, please for all the participants, please go back to your own seat. Please wear your alma mater again. Okay, I would like to say our gratitude first to our moderator, Ms. Mayang, for conducting the debate competition smoothly. And Now we have arrived to the last agenda for today and the most important one. Okay. Before we continue to the announcement, I will give the time and stage to the adjudicators to announce the result.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat, ini sudah jam 12, selamat siang, 2 menit lagi ya. Okay. Am I audible? Yes. Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. First of all, I would like to say thank you for everyone in this room, especially for all the debaters from other universities, from Universitas Negeri Yogyakarta, Universitas Negeri Padang, and Universitas Negeri Surabaya. Okay. Welcome to Universitas Negeri Gorontalo. I also will address the host, Fakultas Ilmu Pendidikan Universitas Negeri Gorontalo. Also, big thank you for all the lecturers, all the mentors that come to Gorontalo. Thank you very much, ma'am, sir. We appreciate you spare some of your time to come to Gorontalo, especially Universitas Negeri Gorontalo. Thank you very much. And I understand that debate is not very easy task to do. I commend all of the teams for doing a very good job this afternoon, from this morning to this afternoon. It takes a lot preparations, bravery, being bold, to come to other university debating, and then I also understand that you prepared yourself, you make some note, you studied, maybe you watch some of the critical trend issues in education, and you have your courage to present, show off your critical thinking in today's debate competition in Pedagogika Muda Indonesia. Begitu ya panitia ya? Ya, okay. Your participation deserves to be recognized. I represent my other two colleges, and before we continue with the general, we call it general comments, because we will not do the oral adjudications, but maybe if we are still in this room, you may approach us to ask the details of your debate process. What happened with your personal roles that you delivered this morning. However, for now, time being, we will deliver what we call the general feedback for you, for all the debaters. But before that, to make sure that our evaluations, our assessments is not biased, even three of us come from Universitas Negeri Gorontalo. I myself I myself was a debater myself when I was in undergraduate study. I studied in Universitas Hasanuddin in English department, and I did my regional and national level. And Pak Syahrun also a national debater. But both of us from the old generation. We did our national in 2001 and 2002. At the time, debate still in Australian parliamentary. At the time, so and Nia herself is current quite new generations national in 2019 2021. Yes, as debater. And three of us also did our TOT for training of trainer. And I myself always do my job as LO when it comes to national and regional debate competition when I was in university for my undergraduate, for Pak Sahrun undergraduate, as also Kak Nia, yeah, because Nia is our Pak Sahrun students, but now as a Pak Sahrun staff in UPA Bahasa. Pak Sahrun and I was graduated from Australian universities. I myself from Flinders University for my master degree in educational leadership and management, and my PhD in women leadership. Pak Sahrun graduated from Flinders for master of educational leadership and Monash University for education. Nia graduated from English department in Universitas Negeri Gorontalo. Even though three of us from Universitas Negeri Gorontalo, but we believe that we keep our objective assessment for all the debate. We have a long history of becoming the part of a debate community. So we know we know how to judge. We know how to understand how your critical thinking went used in debate. For the general feedback, I will ask Kak Nia first to do the general descriptions of what happened, some of the feedback that may beneficial for you later on if you will continue your journey in debate for NUDC maybe later on. Kak Nia? Yeah, time is yours. Thanks.
Check. First of all, hello everyone. My name is Yunia. You can call me Kak Yunia. So before I give you my general comments, so there are several things. Basically, the fundamentals issues upon these motions. So I think we may have neglect the main idea of main purpose of accreditations. Not only quality assurance, but also enhancing credibility, because the importance of these accreditations also lies into the recognitions of the degree, for example, which is less explained in all houses, which will lead into more valuable things into employees or other educational institutions, for example. But other than that, the main purpose is also to encourage collaborations within these universities. So therefore, the idea will be which one is going to be sacrificed or prioritized. Are you going to prioritize your recognitions of degree, or are you going to prioritize the encouragements of collaborations at the end of the day? So the main idea will then into prioritizing better quality or prioritizing the cultural relevance or local culture, because in ASEANs we have a lot of relevance culture in compared to Westerns, for example, which then will lead into the real impact that will be obtained by the students or the employees later that will be graduated from the universities, but also into the services that will be provided by these universities to communities, for example. Next is the accessibility to the accreditations. You guys have been debated around somehow these accreditations, they are not fair competitions, but also it is still okay even if it is more competitive, because at the end it will give significant results in comparison to the less significant ones. But also the idea of why familiar process is important to be prioritized rather than into having the approaches of best practices, for example, even if it takes longer time to pursue the thing, for example. But lastly, the impacts of these accreditations. For example, in ASEAN, the characterization is going to be more regional focused, for example. It is only going to happen within the ASEAN members of the universities, for example. But also we have cultural relevance, for example. We also have shared resources, or we are going to address common issues that happen within these countries, especially Indonesia as the members of ASEAN. But the Western, in comparison to the Western, we have better quality of assurance or standard, for example. We have better practices, we have more innovative or better ideas or better approaches into the learning process or the learning model or method, for example. We are also having a wider range or variations of culture within this Western university. And that is the reason why you need to compare these two, whether you are going to sacrifice or prioritize the regional ones, or you are going to do best practices on having the wider standards and practices. So the classes in this debate is divided into three, actually. First, the qualifications of standard, which one is going to be prioritized and preferred, for example, regional focus or wider standard. But second is local culture, right? Cultural relevance between these two. For example, between the two approaches or accreditations, the integrations of cultural relevance will still happen under both sides of the house. For example, in ASEAN, you will still have the relevance of culture, but that doesn't mean in Western accreditation, you will no longer have that integration in terms of the curriculum, because at the end, Western, they still have the variations of, for example, cultures, the issues that are being prioritized in some of the minorities, for example. And that is the reason why, even if you are going to prioritize Western accreditation, there is still a chance for you to have your cultures being integrated in the curriculum, and that is the reason why it is still okay to begin with. But second of all, the idea of accessibility, for example, is it okay or is it prefer or going to give significant result if it's less competitive or more competitive to begin with? Which one is better? For example, is familiarity really exist under ASEAN accreditations or not? Because at the end, even though we are in the same roots as ASEAN, we still have different types of norms and cultures, and that is the reason why cultural relevance is it still really relevant to Indonesians, for example. Or in Western is better because they have this variety that I have explained before. But the next is about the time span that have been discussed by the debaters about whether it is still okay for you to take longer actions or quick actions to begin with, and which will lead into how it is going to create familiarity between this university. Which one is better? The one that more familiar with this university or better systems to begin with? Will it lead into better efforts and outcomes between these two? Will familiarity lead into better quality even when it is less competitive to begin with? Because in government bench, when you are going to talk about, well, it is going to be less competitive, therefore incentive will be likely to happen under government, you also need to explain how this will create better outcomes at the end of the day, because then you only compete with Singapore at the end of the day, right? But even if under opposition, it will take longer time, but at the end of the day, it is still okay because at the end you compete with Ivy League, for example, and that is the reason why the outcomes will be even better and even significant, right, at the end of the day. So will the unfamiliarity be able to solve the problem or not? At the end, the urgency is one, whether the time spent, better quality or cultural relevances, familiar approaches, or wider and innovative approaches. And the last thing is the likelihood to happen. So other than explaining about, well, this is better and going to give you the best outcomes, you also need to explain the likelihood of you achieving the process and maximizing the funding of this university. So I think that's it, the general comment. So thank you so much. You have given your best. Applause. Thank you. I will give the floor to Pak Sir Syahrun.
Oh, okay. Okay, before Pak Sahrun give, Sir Sahrun give the general feedback, I have some things to give you as well. I agree with Kak Nia that actually these conversations, your debate, revolves around the regional versus global. It's about you are going to see the profits of being in regional level, or you are going to extend and challenge into the global standards. That's the question. The second one is about cultural relevance and what happened with the. For me, it's you have the one of you state the keyword is validation. Is it being culturally relevant to with what Indonesia need, or you just need the validation from what Western deploy, what Western say? If whatever you choose, you need to prepare your arguments, because it's not about you are wrong or you're right, you're correct. It's about you are giving us which team that give us the most convincing arguments, evidence, explanations, extensions that we need. Yeah, basically, most of you fail to do that, mostly. And the third one is about the when you talk about sustainability, about resource, it's about how the resource allocated. How the university, how these accreditations give the guidance to how allocate resources, how this can fit with Indonesian context, because it's about Indonesian university, Indonesian higher degree institutions. It's about that. And the fourth one is about the maybe one of or two of you talk about what is it, job or workforce? Yeah, that's employability. That's employability. It's also about the how the graduate mobility. You talk about ISMA. It's about graduate mobility. It's about graduate employability. Which one will fit more into your arguments when you give you lay everything to us. It's about the most convincing arguments of evidence, extensions, explanation, descriptions that convince us to later on to choose your team or not. Some of the technical maybe will valuable for you later on for your debate journey. One is you must understand your roles. Every role has the specific duties. You need to fulfill that. So we know that you understand your role. You understand the way you say what do you want to say within your specific duties. That one is important. And also make sure, this is some of the note that I made during your debate, make sure when you take the POIs, you can answer them well. Because when you accept someone else to ask for the point of information, and then ask your clarification, ask you for your engagement, you need to make sure that you can answer them well. If not, the point goes to the one who asked the POIs. Yeah, make sure that you understand the question clear, and then you answer the question well and answer well as too. Okay. Also, this one about teamwork. Even you are coming from a different university, but you are sat in a same positions. Some of the what happened during the debate is that some of you contradict your own team because you didn't take note. Some of you contradict your own team. Please make a note. Don't rely on someone else to make you the note. Don't rely on someone else to make you note. That's not very good for you, because later on when you stand or whether in your own table, or you just get into the platform or go to the in the middle of the room, you are the one who will use your ideas. You cannot do the extensions if someone else made that note for you. Yeah, and then some of you struggle in delivering the focus and systematic arguments under your roles. Ya, sama tadi. You need to back to understanding, comprehend what you need to do within your specific duties. The last one before Pak Sahrun stands. Please be respectful to the floor. When someone else talking, you may discuss with your friends, but make sure that your voice not get into the adjudicator's ears. I hope that some of these things help you later on with your debate career, debating futures, and happy debating for later on. Thank you. Now, Pak Sahrun, want to use this one or this microphone?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Just to remind you all, you need to, for Muslim, please copy me. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wa asyhadu anna Muhammadar Rasulullah. Allahumma sholli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad. Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and especially my youngsters. Ya, semua. So back to debate, it was 22 years ago, I was in your bench because I met Ibu Sulis, but we didn't, we were in the same room, yeah, but we didn't know one each other until we met in Australia when we were doing our master. And now we are a couple of husband and wife. Yeah. So I met Ibu Sulis when we were in national debate competition. We were in the same room, but we didn't know one each other. Until someday, somehow, we met in Australia when we were doing our master degree. And then, yes, we back to Australia again for our doctoral degree. Ibu Sulis back to her master university and doctoral as well. Why I choose to be in the different state in Monash University in Victoria, Melbourne. So this is a very good chance for you. You need to study more regarding your experiences, and no one knows that at the end of the day, if I copy Nia and also I copy Ferdi, Randy, at the end of the day, you will have no idea at the end of the day, where will you be? What will you be? So, from Ibu Sulis and also from Kania, you already learned a lot about the debate. I would like to share something different for your experience later on, for your knowledge as well. Ibu Sulis and Kania already elaborate that you lack of this one and this one. The other word of saying that one is your critical thinking. So, most of you only elaborate until W question, while you still lack in elaborating in H question. So it should be WH question. You already explained about the W1, but regarding to how and why, that you need to elaborate more, that will, at the end of the day, if I may copy again, it will be your critical thinking. You need to ask, keep asking why, and then that will be makes the audience, the floors, your opponents will at least satisfy, and there will be no question about, can you please engage on your comment and ABCD? Can you please elaborate more? Because once you explain W, and then you end up with the H question, how, why, and then it will stop them asking, at least minimize. If you cannot stop them giving clarification with W and H question, at least minimize them to raise hand for POI. And then another one that you can use either in your writing or in your spoken. I believe that you already have eaten this one, but probably you might not get idea what is this all about. It's Oreo. You have eaten Oreo, I think, in any flavors. Could be chocolate one, could be ABCD, right? But have you known what Oreo in spoken or in English in terms of elaborating your argument? Have you known that one? Yes, because you already heard from Ibu Sulis and Kani about debate. Now I would like to give you something different that probably you have not got from. So Oreo is another way for you to elaborate your idea either in spoken or written language. Oreo stands for O, R, E, and O. Oreo. It's a snack, really. Yes. But in spoken and written language, it will be used for you in order to give the orientation. What actually this motion is. You need to, even though we already learned, we already seen the motion, but please state it. That our motion today is this house believe that ABCD. You need to give us orientation because might probably we forget, or the audience not really. So orientation, what actually the topic? If now is the motion. And then once you give your orientation, you come with the reason why we need to agree with you opening government, why we need to agree with the closing government, opening opposition and closing opposition. Reason. Why we need to go that way. So it's not really enough until in W question, but should be H. Why and how. Okay? And after that one, we have E. This will be the fruit of your debate. It will be evidence. It will be example. Another explanation, once you provide your example and evidence, you need to re-explain why we need to go with you. And then the last one will be also with O. Back to restate your orientation that why we need to go with you. That will be good enough for you to strengthen your orientation, your topic, your reason why we need to go with you. Then you need to elaborate with the evidence, the example, and also the explanation that you have read, you have heard about this one. And then later on, you need to come to orientation. As a good paragraph said, a good paragraph just like a burger. That the topic sentence will be also similar to your concluding sentence. That will be make sense when we understand A, B, C, D of your argument. And talking about debate is not about true or false regarding your statement, but how you can convince us even with your wrong evidence, for example. Because, for example, we have not heard about this one ABCD, but if you can convince us you might lead us this way even though it's not true. Okay? So your evidence. And then another one is that for all of us. So debate is not how to speak. The point should be speak precise and clearly. Okay? Speak precise and clearly. If you speak too fast, there will be some negative that you might get. For example, the other team will think about something that you do not say and they will raise POI. And you need to answer that one. Okay? Please speak precise, clearly. Okay? That's for all of you. Even though, yes, I need to give you 2 thumbs up, 4 thumbs up that your English is good. And I believe that you can go for next National University Debate Championship fighting with other students from your similar university, from other university. And if you are in the 3rd or in the 5th semester, are you 3rd in the 5th? You are eligible to apply for ISMA. As I and Ibu Sulis also are the interviewer of ISMA. Okay, jadi you have, Anda sudah punya bekal. Okay, make sure you apply for ISMA, Indonesian International Students Mobility Award, that only eligible for those in the 3rd and in the 5th semester. You need to apply for that one. Okay, and then you will see, is it Asian or Western accreditation that should be in Indonesia. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay. Yes, thank you Kak Nia, thank you Sir Sahrun for all the valuable input, feedback for our youngsters. Kalau saya Pak Sahrun mungkin bisa bilang youngster ya, karena kami old generation. Okay. Alright. Reaching the grand finals is an achievement that reflects for all exceptional skills that you have. We know that you have dedicated yourself to this championship, this program. You take some time to practice, and I think you should be very proud of yourself. Please give yourself a very big applause. Yeah. Regardless the outcome, each of you stands among the best in these competitions. And whatever outcomes will be, we hope that you continue your journey in debating in other similar competitions, and don't be too disappointed with the result. Take it as a lesson to be learned, and for without further much okay, we will ask the committee to put the slide on soon. Also big applause to the committee. Okay. Thank you for making these programs happen, competitions happens. Okay. Oh, still waiting. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, siapa sih namanya? Mayang, sorry Mayang. Ibu ambil pekerjaanmu jadi MC ya, tidak apa-apa ya. Okay. For which one? The winner of these competitions is Universitas Negeri Surabaya. The third place is congratulations for Universitas Negeri Padang. Congratulations. And the second place goes to Universitas Negeri Gorontalo. And congratulations. And of course, for the winner for this debat bahasa Inggris pedagogik muda Indonesia goes to Universitas Negeri Yogyakarta. Congratulations for all teams. Congratulations for everyone. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Okay. We can take a picture later on. Now we move to the announcement. Mungkin musiknya bisa di lowering, ya, di lower sedikit. Okay. Now for the next announcement for the best speaker. Yep. Okay, let's wait for the presentations. Yeah. Okay. Tadadam. Congratulations Universitas Negeri Yogyakarta. Sebentar dapat traktiran dari UN-nya ya. Maka di Labulo. Ya, oke. Oh ya, oke. Masih menunggu. Oke, ready? Yep, oke. Ya. Untuk best speaker. Musik tidak ada. Okay, then for the third best speaker is Randy Gobel from UNG. Now we move to the runner-up, the second best speaker. Molly April Santana. Sorry if mispronunciation your name or mispronounce your name. Okay, dari Universitas Negeri Yogyakarta. Now we are going to the first one. Wait, don't be too hurried. Just wait a little bit to make the suspense. Yeah. Okay. Who will be the best speaker? Do you think? Who? Okay. Let's tap the table in 3, 2, 1. David Johanna. Okay. Congratulations. Congratulations for all speakers for today, for all debaters. Yeah, thank you for other universities send their representations online a week ago, I guess, and also thank you very much for all the university WD3 mungkin atau perwakilan atau dosen mentor yang mengantar. Terima kasih sudah mengantar adik-adik semua ke Universitas Negeri Gorontalo. Congratulations for all the achievements. Yes. And for the informations, all the reward and also maybe the certificate will be given in tomorrow night in a closing ceremony. Hopefully, we will meet you there. If not, please say our regard to your university, for your faculties, from us, the adjudicators. And we will do the picture time, ya, picture time. Saya kasih ke panitia, waktu kami sebagai juri sudah berakhir. Terima kasih atas perhatian Bapak Ibu, terima kasih panitia, terima kasih adik-adik. Happy debating. Ya.
Congratulations for all the winners, for the best team and also for the best speakers. For now, we will go to the photo session. So please all the participants come forward and also the adjudicators. Like the lecturers from other university can also join.
Kita berkumpul menuntut ilmu sepenuh hati penuh gairah. Langkah kaki ini pasti takkan pernah pudar menuju cahaya di ujung jalan yang jelas. Pedangku muda terus langkahkan kaki semangat menyala dalam setiap janji. Mengukir prestasi dari mimpi yang berani. Bersama kita bisa harumkan negeri. Mari bersama kita raih cita. Dengan tangan kita ubah dunia. Jadikan semua penuh warna. Kompetisi ini milik bersama. Fakultas Ilmu Pendidikan tempat kita belajar.
Okay, thank you everyone. Please be seated again. Once again, congratulations for all the winners of the best teams and also the best speakers. And I would like also to thank our adjudicators.
Langkah tegapkan padaku melangkah menembus batas mimpi yang tinggi. Kami semua adalah pemenang dengan semangat yang tak pernah mati. Mari bersama kita raih cita. Dengan tangan kita ubah dunia. Jadikan semua penuh warna. Kompetisi ini milik bersama. Kita belajar di Universitas Negeri Gorontalo bersinar.
Yang dari jauh-jauh jangan lupa salah satu atraksi di Gorontalo itu hiu paus.
Operator, yes, okay. Before.
Sorry, yang dari jauh-jauh Bapak Ibu di Gorontalo itu yang paling topnya hanya hiu paus. Jadi sempatkan waktu untuk berenang supaya Bapak Ibu bisa mengambil foto dengan si Shirley. Sering lihat, itu kayak banyak artis itu yang sudah foto bareng sama si Shirley. Jadi adik-adik sama ibu-ibu Bapak menyempatkan waktu untuk ke hiu paus. Makasih.
Okay, everyone please be seated again before we close our English debate competition today. Everyone please remain seated. Okay, where are... Okay, congratulations again to all the winners today, and also thank you so much to all the adjudicators, and also thank you for all the spectators who are present here with us in Aula BAKP and also through YouTube Pedagogika TV. And you all are the champions, and please continue to strive and grow in the future. Hopefully, we will see each other again in another competitions or event. Thank you for all. your participations, and I would like to remind us that we will have closing ceremony tomorrow night at UTS Sedam Hill Hotel in Gorontalo at 19 Central Indonesia time. For further information, please contact the PIC or the LO for each team. Okay, and I am Husnul Hatimah. Hereby, I resign as your master of ceremony for today. Thank you, and that concludes our event for today. Have a wonderful day. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Di tanah harapanlah kita berkumpul, menuntut ilmu sepenuh hati, penuh gairah. Langkah kaki ini pasti takkan pernah pudar, menuju cahaya di ujung jalan yang jelas.